I want to talk about the casting technique for the MAGLOCK with the mag liner. We have a fabricating dummy that's built, of course, it's got a little magnet to hold it in place. The beauty of this and using this, and these silicone rings are purely, there's 3 size silicone rings, and they are to allow so there's no undercut when you take the cast. This gives you exactly the right dimension for the MAGLOCK to function. This little button on the side is purely so the button for the MAGLOCK, that's where that'll be, so orient it towards the medial side. Orient, I like to use 4 button head screws to align it and help me align the lock before I do anything. Now he's got a very long residual limb, and so you want this to kind of go in line of his residual limb. So we want to make sure the liner is sitting appropriately so when we take the cast. Now one of the things that I like to do to simplify this, I take a cast with nylon hosiery. I'll put 1 layer on. Then I'll put my silicone. Notice that I'm leaving the metal bare. Then I put my lock. Okay? Now 1 more nylon. And all this does is it doesn't add a lot of volume. What it does is makes it so it's an easy operation to take this off when we're all done. Now there's a lot of casting techniques out there, and basically any of them will work. I'm a believer in total surface bearing, so I like to use heavy medial lateral forces. I like to get my medial tibial flare built in. I like to know where my fibular head is, and I like to get those in my cast. I don't worry about the AP in my cast because that's easily modified out. I do take measurements for all of this stuff, but everybody knows how to measure, so I'm just going to talk about casting. I'm using C-form. If you haven't used C-form, it's a new material. It's not fiberglass. It's not plaster. But it's the closest thing that I've ever experienced to plaster. It is called C-form for being conformable. That's the ticket here. Get it very wet. Don't worry about losing the resin. Make sure the resin's in there. I take about half the water out, but just to show you, I'm going to leave this very wet, and it'll probably be dripping underneath. So we just need a simple little wrap. Now just so to show you, it has a lot of stretch. Okay, but I'm not putting a lot of stretch in it, because if I do that, I've lost the ability to actually get it to hold a shape. So now let's get the end covered. This is probably the trickiest part. You have enough material down there to cover that up. Okay. Now, if I was going to make a walking prosthesis out of this to do a test socket, I would now put another coat of fiberglass over it. The C-form allows us to do really nice, smooth contouring. The fiberglass will give us the strength allowed in order to be able to walk on it. So, simply pops right off. Okay, and that's all those nylons that I put on inside. That makes it very simple, very clean. Now you can see the little dummy in there. Okay, the dummy doesn't stay with it. The dummy comes out. But if I would do right now is I would fill this cast with a little magnetic dummy inside. So when I do my thermal forming test socket, or I do even a laminate, this is the same dummy, and I would use it then. To take the dummy out of the cast, if I want to do so, simply cut off the button, pull the button out, and it'll pop right out. Okay, so you see the little magnetic dummy inside. You can see the contouring, the pre-tibials, medial tibial flare inside the cast.